From tonight forward, you're dead to this family, my father shouted, slamming his fist on the dining table. Dead. I stood in the doorway of our Naperville, Illinois dining room, waiting for someone to laugh and call it a joke. My mother didn't even look up. She pushed peas around her plate like my existence was an inconvenience. My younger brother, Cole, snorted. Good. Maybe the Wi-Fi will finally work. My Aunt Renee leaned back, arms crossed. Don't come crawling back when your little fantasy crashes. You just burned your inheritance. I was 19. I had just told them I was leaving Northwestern to move to California and build a fintech company. I wasn't asking for permission. I was informing them I'd finally chosen my own life. The silence after Dad's declaration felt worse than the yelling. It wasn't just anger. It was a burial. I could almost hear dirt hitting a coffin. In the hallway, my grandmother, Lorraine, caught my sleeve. Her hands were thin but steady. She slipped 5 crisp $100 bills into my palm and pressed a folded note into my pocket. A phone number, written in blue ink. She cupped my face, eyes bright with a kind of fierce love I had never seen from my parents. Go make them eat those words, she whispered. That was the last sentence anyone in that house said to me for 8 straight years. Before I keep going, thank you for being here with me. If you've ever been cut off for choosing your own path, I'd be grateful if you leave a like, a comment, a share, or a subscribe. I read every message, and it truly means a lot. I rode the train into Chicago with my suitcase bumping against my knee, and my phone nearly dead. At Union Station, I bought the cheapest ticket I could find west, then sat under flickering lights counting my money. 52 hours later, I stepped off in Emeryville with $41 left and a stomach full of nerves. The first year wasn't hustle. It was survival. I slept on couches until the invitations dried up, then in my car with a towel over the window. I worked mornings in a cafe, afternoons doing deliveries on a borrowed bike, nights cleaning offices downtown. I showered at a gym on a rotating stack of free trials. I learned to code on library computers because I couldn't afford Wi-Fi. Some nights I sat on a fire escape at 3 a.m., staring at the bay, one click away from buying a one-way ticket back to Illinois, just to hear a familiar voice, even if it hated me. Every time, I pulled out Grandma Lorraine's note, traced her handwriting with my thumb, and went back inside. Years passed. I built the app on a cracked laptop, then rebuilt it when the first version failed. Users trickled in, then doubled, then multiplied. Investors started calling. I never called home. Being dead meant silence both ways, and I kept it. Then, 8 years later, on a cold December morning, my name hit Forbes. I stared at the headline in my apartment, hands shaking, waiting for the rush I'd imagined. Instead, I felt a quiet, hollow click, like a lock turning. 3 hours after the article went live, my phone lit up with a number I hadn't seen since I was 19. A text from my mother. Christmas Eve dinner. 6:30. Family only. Important discussion. I read it twice, and the old scar ripped open clean. I knew what important discussion meant. Somebody needed money from me now. I didn't answer my mother right away. I sat on the edge of my couch in Oakland, staring at the blue bubble like it was a loaded gun. 8 years of silence, and she chose Christmas Eve to resurrect me, not with an apology, but an invitation with rules. Family only. Important discussion. I opened the Forbes link again and scrolled until I found the line about my company's valuation. That number was why my mother's thumbs suddenly remembered how to type my name. My assistant, Lila, stepped into my office with a tablet. "Congrats," she said softly. "You look like someone just handed you a bomb." "My mom texted," I said. Lila's brows lifted. "After 8 years? Right after Forbes." I forwarded the message to my attorney, Jonah Sykes. He called within minutes. "Do not go alone," he said, "and don't agree to anything in person. If they want something, they'll push for a signature while you're shaken." "I'm not shaken," I lied. He paused. "Harper, you're human." I stared at rain streaking down my window and felt 19 again. clutching a suitcase and pretending my throat didn't hurt. What if I ignore it? They'll come to you, Jonah said. They'll show up, or they'll leak a story. People like that don't like unanswered doors. For 8 years, they missed every birthday, every promotion, every night. I stopped checking the mailbox for apologies and started building a life that didn't require them. That night, I dreamed of my father's fist on the table, the word dead echoing like a stamp. I woke before dawn and checked my phone. A voicemail from Aunt Renee waited, her voice syrupy. "Sweetie, we should talk. Family matters. Family matters. Money." I opened the small folder I kept buried in my desk. Inside was my grandmother Lorraine's note, creased from being unfolded 1,000 times, and a phone number beneath it. Years ago, Lorraine told me, "When they finally call, don't go alone." I dialed the number. Dr. Celeste Marrow answered, calm and familiar, like she'd been expecting me. "I heard from my mother," I said. Celeste didn't sound surprised. "People who abandon you don't change," she said gently. "They just get new reasons to return." I swallowed. "Should I go?" "You don't owe them your presence," she said. "But if you choose to go, go as the woman you are now, not the girl they tried to bury. And take a witness." A witness. Jonah had said the same thing, just in legal language. By lunchtime, I had a plan. I booked a flight to Chicago for the afternoon of December 24, not because I missed their table, but because I wanted control of the moment they tried to take. I asked Lila to come with me as my executive assistant, and Jonah arranged a local attorney to be on standby. On the plane, I watched Midwest clouds thicken and felt the old ache rise, the one that says, "Maybe this time they'll love you." I hated that ache. I hated that it still lived in me. When we landed, the cold slapped my face like a reminder. In the rental car, Leela glanced over. "What are you hoping for?" I swallowed. "I'm hoping for nothing," I said. "That way they can't steal it." Well, as we pulled into Naperville, my childhood streets looked smaller, like the town had shrunk since I left. But my parents' house looked the same. Lights glowing warm, wreath on the door, perfect from the outside. I parked, and my hands went steady. Dead girls don't knock. I did. I stepped inside to the smell of pine candle and roast ham, and every face turned toward me like I'd walked in wearing a confession. My mother didn't hug me. She took my coat and said, "You look different," like success was suspicious. My father appeared from the living room, jaw tight, eyes scanning past me to Lila. "Who's that?" "My assistant," I said. "Lila Nguyen." He hated that I brought proof I wasn't alone. Cole rushed in next, cheeks flushed, grin too wide. "Harper!" "Wow!" Forbes Harper. He opened his arms like we'd been texting all year. I didn't move. "Hi, Cole." Aunt Renee swooped over with a phone already up. "Smile. This is for the family page." I saw it then, the tripod in the corner, the ring light, the folding chairs set in a half circle around the coffee table. This wasn't dinner. It was a stage. My mother clapped once. "Everyone, settle. We're starting before the food gets cold." We moved into the den where a fake fire crackled on the TV. My father stood by the mantel like a preacher. On the coffee table sat a stack of printed papers with yellow tabs. "Harper," he began, voice formal. "We're glad you came. We've been praying about reconciliation." Reconciliation was what people said when they wanted forgiveness without accountability. Cole patted the cushion next to him. "Sit, sis. Let's do this right." I stayed standing. Lila stayed beside me, quiet as a camera. My father lifted the top page. "Your mother and I made sacrifices when you left," he said. "People judged us." A murmur of agreement traveled through the room. My mother dabbed at dry eyes. "I was embarrassed at church," she whispered. Then Cole leaned forward and delivered the real line. "I'm finishing my MBA," he said, "and I need capital to buy into a firm. Harper can help. It's family." Aunt Renee beamed at the tripod. "Isn't this beautiful?" Sisters reunited. My father slid the papers toward me. "It's a simple promissory note," he said. 2.5 million. Low interest. You sign tonight, and we move forward. 2.5 million. My mother's voice softened. Think of it as making up for lost time. I looked at the tabs and saw my name typed in bold. My company listed as guarantor. They weren't asking Harper Quinn. They were trying to borrow from my board. I set my palm on the papers without taking them. You didn't text me to ask how I survived, I said. You texted me after Forbes. Cole's grin faltered. Don't be like that. My father's eyes hardened. We gave you life. And you pronounced me dead, I replied. The room went still. My mother's mask slipped. You're being cruel. I nodded once. No, I'm being accurate. Cole's laugh turned sharp. So you're really going to humiliate us? I didn't raise my voice. You're doing that yourselves. I looked at the tripod, the ring light, the chairs. Then I looked at my father. You didn't invite me to dinner, I said. You invited me to sign. My father's face reddened. If you walk out, don't come back. I picked up my coat. I touched my grandmother Lorraine's old ornament on the tree, the one tiny thing that still felt like her. Behind me, my mother started sobbing for the camera, and my father hissed my name like a warning. Lila held the door as I stepped onto the porch, breath turning to fog, heart steady. Then I walked out into the cold without another word, and I didn't look back. I didn't sleep at my parents' house. I slept at a hotel off Route 59, curtains shut, phone on Do Not Disturb, trying to breathe like the 19-year-old in me wasn't still on that porch. At 7:14 a.m., the first headline hit my feed. Fintech CEO refuses to help family for Christmas. It started on a local blog, then spread as a clipped TikTok. Aunt Renee's video. My face framed by her ring light. My father's voice booming. My mother sobbing on cue. They cut out the part where they demanded $2.5 million and left in the part where I said, "You pronounced me dead." The comments didn't matter. Investors did. Lila walked in with her laptop open. "Jonah's on," she said. Jonah's voice was tight. "They're emailing your board address. They're claiming you're unstable and financially reckless." I felt the word like a bruise. "They want governance pressure." "Yes," he said. "They want your board to nudge you into paying them for reputation repair." I stared at the hotel window. Illinois winter turning the sky to tin. "What do we do?" "Document. Contain. Respond once," Jonah said. No emotion. No details. By noon, we had a statement. I'd been estranged for 8 years. Claims about my stability were false. My company operations were unaffected. Harassment would be handled through counsel. One clean paragraph, like a firewall rule. I sent it to PR and watched the message leave my outbox like a door locking. At 3:20 p.m., the front desk called. "Miss Quinn, your family is here." I went to the lobby and saw them near the revolving doors. My mother in a cream coat, my father stiff beside her, Cole pacing. Aunt Renee hovered behind them with her phone raised. My mother spotted me and rushed forward, voice already shaking. "Harper, we need to talk. This is getting out of hand." I stayed behind the brass line on the carpet. "You posted me online. We're being attacked," she whispered. "People are calling us bad parents." "You were," I said quietly. My father stepped in. "You're going to destroy our name." I looked at him. "You destroyed mine first." Cole shoved his screen toward me. "Your statement makes you look cold," he said. "Just give us something. A donation. A loan. Then we delete the video." There it was. The price tag. Lila moved beside me, calm. "Sir, you're in a private hotel. If you continue, security will remove you." My mother snapped. "Client? I'm her mother." I kept my voice level. "Email my attorney. I'm done." My father lowered his voice, almost gentle. "If you don't sign, we'll sue. We'll claim you were coerced. We'll drag your grandmother into it. We'll make you explain why you left." I didn't flinch. "Go ahead," I said. "Discovery will tell the truth." Wells. His eyes widened, like calm was a weapon he didn't recognize. Security approached. My mother grabbed my sleeve, desperate now. "You don't understand," she whispered. "The mortgage is behind. Cole's program is expensive. We need help. For 8 years, they didn't need me. They needed me when the bill came due." I pulled my sleeve free. I'm not your emergency fund, I said. I'm not your redemption story. They were escorted out, Aunt Renee still filming, my mother crying louder as the doors shut. Back upstairs, I unfolded Grandma Lorraine's note again. On the back, in faded ink, was one more line I'd never noticed. If they come back for money, check the deed. I left you more than courage, and tonight, I finally knew where to look. I drove to the DuPage County Recorder's office the next morning with Jonah on speaker and Lila beside me, dressed for a normal errand. The clerk pulled up the parcel from my parents' address and turned the monitor so I could see it. Deed history. Transfers. A document filed 2 years ago with my grandmother Lorraine's signature. Transfer on death instrument. My name sat there in black text. Harper Quinn, beneficiary. My stomach dropped, then steadied. Grandma hadn't just given me $500 bills and a phone number. She'd given me leverage that didn't require a fight, just accuracy. Jonah exhaled through the phone. They never told you. No, I said. They told me I was dead. The clerk printed the record, stamped it, and slid it across like it was nothing. I held the paper like it was Lorraine's hand. Back at the hotel, Jonah walked me through the details. Your parents have a life estate until death or voluntary sale, he said, but they can't refinance without your consent because you're the beneficiary. If they're behind on the mortgage, lenders will come knocking. That's why your mom suddenly found your number. Cole's MBA wasn't the emergency. Their house was. I didn't feel triumph. I felt sadness for how predictable it was. That afternoon, Jonah sent a formal notice to my parents. Stop contacting my company, stop filming me, and communicate only through counsel. He attached the deed record. Because daylight works faster than arguments. My father responded within an hour. You're stealing our home. I didn't answer. Jonah did. She is not stealing. The record is public. If you attempt to encumber the property, we will seek injunctive relief. At dusk, my mother called anyway, voice trembling, finally real. Harper, please, she said. We're going to lose the house. I stared at the ceiling and pictured Lorraine at her kitchen table, signing that document, deciding who deserved protection. You already lost me, I said quietly. You chose that. My mother sobbed. We were scared. People talked. Cole needed help. Then ask Cole to help, I said. I'm not the person you buried and dug up for cash. Silence. Then a harsh inhale. So you're going to throw us out? No, I said. I'm going to stop you from using my name as collateral. You can live there. You just can't weaponize me. Jonah arranged one more step. We offered a structured option. My parents could sign an agreement acknowledging no contact with my company and a repayment plan on any arrears, monitored by a third party. If they refused, we'd file for a restraining order and seek court oversight due to harassment. They signed within 2 days. Aunt Renee deleted the video and posted a vague apology about misunderstandings. Cole stopped texting. My father didn't apologize, but his threats went quiet, which was the closest thing he ever offered to respect. On New Year's morning, I flew back to Oakland and stood in my office before my team's stand-up. I told them we were safe, the launch was on track, and no outside noise would touch our work. Then I placed Lorraine's note in a frame. I didn't win by humiliating my family. I won by refusing to be their tool. And for the first time since 19, the word dead no longer belonged to them. It belonged to the version of me that kept begging. Thank you for staying with Harper through this. If you'd like to support stories like this, a like, comment, share, or subscribe means a lot, and I'm grateful for every message you leave.